Humans can hide inside probability itself. I did not believe the warning. No living thing could become statistically invisible. Not to our sensors. Not to our mathematics. Not to fate. Yet that impossible sentence appeared in the oldest military archive my species possessed. We laughed. Then the recruitment screen called a human by a name nobody had entered. That was the first crack. I was there. Third observation cluster. Row 9. Seat 43. My vision membranes still remember the light. Our academy trained future officers from 112 civilizations. Every cadet arrived with a complete identity record. Every genetic marker. Every family chain. Every memory certificate. Nothing was unknown. Nothing could be hidden. That certainty defined civilization. Then the human arrived late. He wore a plain gray uniform. No medals. No escort. No visible rank. Average height. Average build. Brown hair. A tired face. He carried one small bag. Nothing about him demanded attention. I immediately classified him as socially weak. Humans always traveled in groups. This one arrived alone. Obviously abandoned. Obviously unimportant. That was my first mistake. He walked past the first rows. Past honored delegates. Past decorated veterans. Past the elite candidates. He stopped 3 rows behind me. No hesitation. No curiosity. He simply sat down, as though he already knew exactly where he belonged. I concluded he lacked ambition. My second mistake. The ceremony began. Thousands watched across the galaxy. The Chancellor welcomed every species. The ceiling filled with holographic constellations. Names floated through the air. Each cadet stood when called. Each identity matched the Academy records. Perfect. Predictable. Safe. Then the central screen froze. That had never happened. Every backup froze with it. Silence spread across the chamber. Engineers rushed toward the control stations. Our machines never failed. Failure itself felt unnatural. The lights dimmed. The main display flickered. One line appeared. Welcome back. Nobody moved. There was no registered visitor. No honored guest. No returning graduate. Nothing matched the message. The Chancellor frowned. Security activated. I assumed hackers. Primitive sabotage. My third mistake. The words vanished. Another line appeared. Legend status confirmed. Confusion rippled through the audience. Legend? There were no military legends still alive. Legends became myths. Myths became stories. Stories became entertainment. Reality did not resurrect them. The database began searching itself. I watched billions of encrypted files unlock. Without authorization. Without commands. Without resistance. Impossible. The Academy AI sounded afraid. I had never heard fear from a machine. Then it spoke. Identity located. Every screen turned white. One name slowly appeared. Not in the front rows. Not among commanders. Not beside ambassadors. A tiny golden marker appeared 3 rows behind me. Every head turned. The quiet human looked up. His expression barely changed. I assumed he was confused like everyone else. My fourth mistake. He simply sighed. Just sighed. As though he had expected this inconvenience. Security surrounded him instantly. 42 armored guardians. Gravity fields activated. Escape routes sealed. Our academy had survived asteroid impacts. It could survive anything. So we believed. The lead commander aimed a pulse weapon. State your designation. The human blinked once. My name's Elias. Nothing else. Too simple. Too calm. Definitely lying. Legends never used ordinary names. The commander demanded identification. The human reached into his pocket. Half the security force prepared to fire. Instead, he removed an old metal coin. Not a weapon. Not technology. A scratched coin. He rolled it across his fingers. I concluded humans carried primitive comfort objects under stress. Another mistake. The Academy AI interrupted. Voice trembling. Visual confirmation complete. Every screen flashed crimson. Access level. Creator. The chamber exploded into panic. Creator? Creators were extinct. Their civilization disappeared before my ancestors discovered electricity. Their technology built half the known galaxy. Their disappearance created every mystery we studied. No biological record survived. Until now. Impossible. Everyone stared at the human. He looked embarrassed. Not proud. Embarrassed. As though attention itself annoyed him. That reaction made no sense. If I possessed such status, I would announce dominance immediately. Humans clearly lack survival instincts. Another incorrect conclusion. The Chancellor slowly approached. His bodyguards begged him not to. He ignored them. You built this academy? The human scratched his neck. No. Relief spread through the room. Then he continued. I helped redesign it. Silence. Absolute silence. That answer was somehow worse. The academy existed for nearly 4,000 years. No human lived that long. Unless. No. Impossible. Biology forbade it. The Chancellor demanded proof. The human pointed toward the ceiling. I left something up there. Everyone looked. Nothing. Just metal. Just lights. Just history. Then the ceiling opened. Nobody had known it could open. A hidden chamber descended. Dust floated through ancient light. Inside rested a single chair. Old. Simple. Human-sized. The AI announced. Original administrator station restored. Restored? It had been hidden longer than recorded history. I felt something unfamiliar. Uncertainty. The human stared at the chair. His breathing changed. For the first time, he looked tired. Not physically. Older. Much older. Like someone remembering a wound. He whispered only 3 words. I hated meetings. Laughter almost escaped several cadets, including me. An ancient legend complaining about meetings? Ridiculous. The tension briefly weakened. Then the chair recognized his voice. The entire academy shifted. Walls moved. Hidden corridors unlocked. Defense satellites activated in orbit. Ancient weapons awakened beneath the planet. Nobody had known they existed. Our instructors certainly had not. The Academy AI spoke again. This time it did not address the Chancellor. It addressed the human. Emergency protocol remains active. The human closed his eyes. Oh, that single sound carried something I could not understand. Regret. Fear. Responsibility. Maybe all 3. What emergency? The Chancellor asked. The AI answered before the human could. Enemy arrival predicted. The room erupted. Enemy? Which enemy? No hostile fleet approached. Long-range sensors were clear. Every telescope confirmed empty space. The AI repeated itself. Prediction accuracy, 99.999%. The human rubbed his forehead. I was hoping that prediction was finally wrong. Wrong? Finally? How old was this prediction? How old was he? My mind rejected every possibility. Our science collapsed one fact at a time. Then every emergency alarm across the academy activated together. Not because ships appeared, not because weapons fired, because something impossible happened. Every historical record containing the word extinction had just changed into the future tense. And the human sitting 3 rows behind me whispered, "They found us again. They found us again." Those 4 words shattered everything I believed. The academy did not panic. It obeyed. Ancient blast doors sealed. Invisible shields wrapped around the planet. Thousands of hidden defense platforms rose from beneath mountains that had never been mountains at all. I stared at the human. Elias did not move. I decided he had surrendered. That was another mistake. He was listening. Not to us. To something far away. The Academy AI spoke again. Enemy emergence in 93 seconds. No fleet appeared on any scanner. Nothing crossed the system's edge. Nothing warped into orbit. Nothing existed. I relaxed. The AI had finally failed. Another mistake. Stars began disappearing. Not exploding. Not dimming. Vanishing. One after another. As though someone erased pieces of the universe. The room fell silent. Every scientist stopped breathing. Every prediction became useless. Then space tore open. No light escaped the wound. Darkness itself poured through. The shape had no wings. No engines. No recognizable structure. Looking at it made my vision split into impossible angles. My translator crashed. 3 nearby drones simply shut down forever. The Academy identified the target with a name older than recorded history. The hunger, I had studied that legend. Every civilization had. A myth about an enemy that consumed probability before consuming matter. Children feared it. Scholars mocked it. Now it floated above our world. Real. Patient. Waiting. I turned toward Elias. He looked disappointed. Not frightened. Disappointed. You came sooner this time, he whispered. The Chancellor demanded answers. What is that? Elias answered without taking his eyes off the sky. Our oldest mistake. That sentence made no sense. How can entire species create something like this? Another alarm screamed. The shields began collapsing. Not breaking. Simply forgetting they had ever existed. Our greatest technology erased itself. Entire sections of the Academy blinked out of reality. Cadets disappeared. One heartbeat they existed. The next, only empty chairs remained. No blood. No sound. No memory. I tried to remember the cadet beside me. I could not. It was as if he had never lived. Fear entered me for the first time. True fear. The hunger was eating history. Elias finally stood. Slowly. Calmly. He flipped the old coin into the air. It landed on the back of his hand. Heads. He smiled. I was hoping for tails. I assumed the coin meant nothing. Another mistake. The Academy AI announced. Probability anchor restored. Reality stopped shaking. Only around Elias. The space within a few steps of him became stable. Everything else continued collapsing. He walked toward the ancient chair. Each step pushed the darkness backward. Not by force. By certainty. The hunger reacted. For the first time, the impossible thing moved. It recognized him. Across the planet, every speaker activated at once. A voice emerged. Not loud. Not angry. Ancient. Human. One word. Every window shattered. My nervous system nearly failed. Elias answered quietly. You still remember me. I remember the one who refused to die. I looked at Elias. Finally I understood. Not immortality. Not magic. Something worse. Every historical record describing impossible survivors. Every battle where one human returned alone. Every disaster with a single unexplained witness. They had all been him. He never corrected the stories. He simply kept going. The hunger advanced. The planet shook. Moons drifted from their orbits. Our fleets fired every weapon they possessed. Energy vanished before reaching the target. It was hopeless. Elias sat in the ancient chair. Thousands of hidden systems awakened. Stars around the Academy shifted into precise geometric patterns. The AI spoke one final warning. Administrator, this protocol is irreversible. I know. You will disappear again. I know. The Chancellor rushed forward. There has to be another way. Elias smiled sadly. There's always another way. He looked toward us. We just never liked the price. He placed the coin into the console. The old metal fit perfectly. It had never been a coin. It had been a key. Every light in the Academy turned blue. Then white. Then human. The impossible happened. Not an explosion. Not a weapon. Probability itself bent around Elias. For one impossible moment, I saw countless versions of him. A child. A soldier. A scientist. An old man. A young explorer. A medic. A prisoner. A father. A stranger. Every version chose the same thing. Stunt. Protect everyone else. The pattern I had believed defined humans was wrong. I thought humans survived because they hid, because they adapted, because they were lucky. No, humans survived because when every future ended in death, one of them would willingly become the future that survived. The light reached the hunger. The darkness hesitated. For the first time, it retreated, not defeated, driven away. The torn sky slowly healed. Stars returned. The missing memories flooded back. Cadets reappeared in their seats, gasping as if waking from a nightmare. The Academy stood. The planet lived. Silence followed. The ancient chair was empty. The coin was gone. So was Elias. The AI searched every database, every sensor, every timeline. Nothing. No human named Elias had ever attended the Academy. No administrator records remained. No creator access existed. Only one message survived. It appeared on every screen before deleting itself forever. If they return, teach the humans. They'll remember what I forgot. Asterisk, asterisk. Years have passed since that day. Most believe it was a systems malfunction. Others call it a mass hallucination. I know better. Whenever I enter a crowded room, I always count 3 rows behind me. Because legends never sit in the front. And I finally understand the oldest warning in our archives. Humans do not hide inside probability. They become the impossible future that refuses to disappear. Whenever I enter a crowded room, I still count 3 rows back. Because legends never sit in the front. And I finally understand the oldest warning in our archives. Humans do not hide inside probability. They become the impossible future that refuses to disappear. Maybe, somewhere in another galaxy, Elias is already sitting quietly 3 rows behind someone else, waiting for history to remember him again. And if the impossible ever happens again, I only hope humanity is still there to stand between us and the darkness. If you enjoyed this HFY sci-fi adventure, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more original HFY stories every week. Until next time, remember, the greatest legend in the room is usually the one nobody notices.